NLDS Game 2. We'll see the Miami Marlins as they play against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Coming up on 2K Sports.
Game 2 of the division series. It's on tap right now. Welcome, everybody. Gary Thorne, Steve Phillips, John Kruk. Matt Kemp. He can bring the big hit. Will he do it today? We're about to find out. The devotees of the Los Angeles Dodgers showing up here for this game. And it's Chad Billingsley, the starter. So, Steve, what's the consensus as he takes a look at this Miami lineup about what he's got to do?
Well, I think the key for Chad Billingsley is believing in his stuff and believing in himself. Locate the fastball, work ahead, and focus on strike one. He gets in trouble when he falls behind in the count.
Here's the lineup for the Marlins. Now, John, anyone in particular we should keep an eye on?
Well, he's not the same Russell Martin as he was a few years ago when he was a perennial all-star, but he still can be a factor at the plate. And for a catcher, Russell Martin has good speed. He can even beat out an infield single and steal a base for you.
Doolittle up now. Steve, what do you think of the Dodgers here in this game?
Well, they just have to remember they're still in this series. Sure, they're down, but there's a lot of baseball left to be played, and they can turn it around. They can't worry about winning games. They have to win this pitch in this inning in this game.
Billingsley with the windup. 0-1 pitch is a cut fastball, swung on and missed. 0-2. And as you're saying, Steve, what they've got to have here is just some good mental toughness. And really the adage comes to play one game at a time.
Well, they could fall back on a great season and great success.
And look now at the pitch type distribution. One of the hallmarks of being effective is mixing up your pitches.
Well, you know, guys, he's definitely leaning towards that slider a little more than he usually does.
You know, another interesting thing here, guys, is that he's not...
He swings, hits a ball to right field. 2 away. Runners on the move. And the throw out at third as they tag him. And so Chad Billingsley, he heads off the field. Nothing doing in the first 2. Goose eggs on the board for him. And the Dodgers, their turn coming up. And if you're just joining in, Gary Thorne with Steve Phillips and John Kruk bringing you Major League Baseball here on 2K Sports.
Okay, that's his fourth walk we just saw right there. And I think that this would classify as being effectively wild. He's getting the outs that he needs.
Line drive. And he gets in there, no contest. That's one. And two. How's that for getting out of the inning in style? They nailed a guy at the plate on a double play. Well, you want to keep your options open. Can't figure anything out. And through 7, they remain without a run. Los Angeles, they are still hosting this shutout. Drew a walk as last time. Runners on first and second with 1 out. The first pitch, swing and a liner to right center. And that's going to be a base hit. Tying run is on. And he scores. And he is safe at second. Here's what that double's done for the win expectancy graph. This can be a dangerous play. The head first slide into second.
Well, he goes diving in there and just gets his hands in underneath the tag. Unfortunately, he's getting up and dusting himself off without injury. I'll tell you what, the nerves in the dugouts on both sides kind of quivering here. Critical situation.
You know, he's trying desperately to get out of this inning with that 2-run lead intact, but a couple are on base here.
He has the right look in his eyes, Gary, right now. He looks prepared. Let's see how he handles this situation.
So that brings Kelly Johnson to the plate. He'll grab a bat and hit here. RBI scores as he comes in. Gets one. Decides not to try for the double play. Hangs on to it. Take the risk, and sometimes it pays off, and it does there.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a risk. There's no question about it. He got in safely, but I have to consider whether it's a risk worth taking. Well, a lot riding on Russell Martin's bat here, Gary. You can see that.
And that's a fly ball. That could do it. This one towards Ethier. And you just saw it, folks. That's going to be the last play of this game.
A big playoff victory right here. The hometown crowd very, very happy the way their players performed.
Would like now to take a look at our player of the game. Let's make a pick. Chad Billingsley. Boy, did he pitch well today. And with this victory marks today, they've overcome a very big hurdle.
Game 3 of the NLDS. It's the Los Angeles Dodgers against the Miami Marlins. And it's game time on 2K Sports.
Big game here in the division series. This is game 3, knotted up at 1-1. I'm Gary Thorne along with Steve Phillips and John Kruk. It's heating up. Just moments from now, Wandy Rodriguez is going to bring that stuff of his to try and baffle these hitters. Great night for a baseball game as the Marlins get set to go. Steve, what do you think his strategy is going to be against this Dodger lineup?
Well, the scouting report against this lineup is if you execute your pitches, hit your spots, keep the ball down to the zone, you can shut them down. And with a quality left-hander like this on the mound, he shouldn't have too much difficulty.
Any of these bats stand out, John?
Well, there's nothing.
And we'll get rolling here with D. Gordon. Steve, tell us what you think about this one, Marlins-wise.
Very little separates these two teams. They've been neck and neck the entire series. Now that it's all evened up, this is the critical game. Both teams have played well, but this could ultimately decide who wins the series.
And it seems like, Steve, at this point, this is when you're asking, especially your best players, to take their play to another level.
Boy, if they have another level left now, well, good speed at first base right here. He can really run. Don't be surprised if we see him try to steal and get a second runner in scoring position.
One offering from Capuano. Oh, and he swings on a dirt pitch. Guess he couldn't see that one. In this matchup, Lifetime 1 for 3 off Capuano. And this is bounced foul to the left side. There he goes towards second. And that's another foul ball. These at bats. How's he starting him? Let's take a look.
Let's take a look at what happens when he falls behind in this game. First pitches out of the zone. 4 hits have come in those at bats, so strike 1 is critical.
Swung on, that is hit, and it's through. Carter Johnson single. Great opportunity for Miami.
Well, you just can't explain how valuable a pinch hitter is. A guy who can come off the bench cold and deliver a big hit.
McGilberry now digging a hole as he comes to the plate. Struck out swinging his last time up. 2 down. Runners at first and second. Here's the first pitch. Swung on, lined over the first baseman's head. And this could be extra bases heading towards the corner. First runner gets in. And Johnson also scoring. And he'll stop at second base. That'll be a 2-run double. Those 2 RBIs, boy, that makes a difference. We can see just how much on this WPA chart.
Perfect situational hitting. This is exactly the time you want to go the other way.
And what we're talking about is taking the ball where it's pitched. It's outside, go the other way. And Mayberry. Big batting. Offensively, the opportunity to pull it a little bit closer, and right now that offense looks as though they've got the ability to do that.
Gary, he got some good wood on that last hit. Put it in play. Now he's closing the gap right here.
Swing and a liner to right center. And yet another hit there, seeing the ball well. And he comes home. That's it. We are tied. Miami, they are happy to just carry this momentum.
They need to get an out right now. I mean, this offense just has kept the pressure on them. They need to regroup and get him out.
Davis into the batter's box. Now, Steve, this offense, you want momentum going your way. It looks like they've got it.
Gary, that was a great piece of hitting right there. It allowed them to pull it even here early in the game. Nice response.
First pitch on the way. Ground ball. And Gordon is there. And he throws on to first. That'll retire the side. A strike for 5 base hits in this inning and 3 runs up. Dodgers 3, Miami 3. And here's Matt Kemp. Numbers over his career, 255 off the Marlins. And out on the mound, we'll see Derek Lowe. They've decided it's time to bring a new arm into this one. 1 for 2 in the ballgame. I think there's an issue of how much is left in his tank right here, so that bullpen's going to get active.
You know, it's still early in the game, though, so I'd be surprised if they make this move this early. They may just getting prepared in case they need to go there.
And doing the pitching, it's going to be Philip Humber. They've decided it was time to make a change here. This is his first chance at bat. It's going to be Taylor. He'll grab a bat and hit here.
Well, now hitting for the pitcher in this situation, he just has to try to get on base and see if he can't get something going offensively.
Swing, shoots this one towards the gap, right center. And it's in there, the tying run on board.
Well, what an at-bat right there. You know, you're talking about a guy coming off the bench cold. It's one of the toughest things to do in all of baseball. He made it look easy.
McGilberry now digging a hole as he comes to the plate. Had a base hit his last time up. That one swung on its line. And that one to fall in, and the run will score.
Well, that's 3 consecutive hits he's given up. He can't be out of gas yet. He just has to bear down and get somebody out. They don't want to go to the bullpen this early in the game.
And Mayberry batting. It is a difficult task. You're trying to get back into a ball game at this point, but they're close. First pitch was a strike, 0-1 now.
Well, you don't know if this was an accident or he meant to do it, but he...
Swinging a drive, deep left center. It's up against the wall on the mound. And that's in. They're able to tie it up. There's the throw. And here's a second runner heading for the plate. And with that right-hander warming up in the bullpen here, I'm not sure quite what they're thinking.
Well, with the left-handed hitter on deck, he's probably getting ready for hitters later in the lineup.
Davis into the batter's box. Wow, Steve, has this offense come through in a big way? Now they're gaining some confidence.
We just saw right there, Gary, is a guy getting it done in the clutch. That's a prime example of big-time hitting.
Going to be a great ball game. We've sensed it coming, and now we've got ourselves back to a tie. Kemp will field. And that's going to do it in this half inning. So they pick up 4 hits in the inning and 2 runs across. Dodgers 9, Miami 9. Looking to the lineup, 6, 7, 8 hitters on their way to the plate. And Ethier's in the box. Trying to get here, just 1 for 3 thus far.
Game's tied right now, Gary, and obviously he drove in 2 runs in this game. Let's see if we can do some more.
And we're going to get to see Eduardo Sanchez pitching as they make the pitching. He's had 1 hit 4 times up. 2 out Bases loaded. And the first pitch. And he lays off one low, 1-0.
That two-seam fastball is such an effective pitch. One, because it gets ground ball outs, but two, it sets up his other pitches.
Pitch on the way. Runs that one too far inside. Goes to 2-0. That one swung on, hit in the air. That's caught. Side is retired. They give no runs on one hit, and they leave the sacks full. Tied still here. It's Amos at the plate. He's already homered twice in this one.
We find ourselves tied right now, but if they're not careful here, it's going to be untied. And we've seen the RBIs here from him and also the home run production, so a dangerous hitter.
Kemp will field. Roams over, puts it away.
Well, I followed the scouting reports. They moved the outfielders back before the play, and they were in exactly the right position to be able to make the catch. Good coaching.
Doolittle is batting. The first pitch. Now a swing, pops him up left side of the infield. And it's going to be to Jesus. 2 down here in the inning. And in the batter's box, it's Martin. A swing line to left center. And he's on the potential winning run. Get ready.
You have 2 outs in the inning. Your job is to get on base any way you can. Now they have the go-ahead run on base.
Kingery is the batter. Trying again here. Just 1 for 3 thus far. And it's through. That's a base hit.
Now showing aggressiveness early in the count all over that 0-0 pitch. Ripping the fastball to center.
And we've got his tourist batting. Singleton scored his last time around. First pitch on the way. And he swings and hits this one foul. Fisher is going to come on as a pinch hitter.
With 2 runners on base and a chance for a big inning, they're going to the pinch hitter, trying to see if they can't generate some offense this inning.
Here's the pitch. Line shot into center field. That looks like a single. He's heading home.
Big postseason victory right here, and doing it for the hometown crowd. So they're happy and they live to play another day.
And we take a look at a performance that today earned our Player of the Game award.
Well, you know, Gary, a lot of times it doesn't matter how many hits you get, but when you get those hits. And sometimes it only takes one, and that's how this game was decided today. That one big hit was the reason this team won. That's why he's our clutch performer.
And as they put the victory up in this one, they now sit enviably, we might add, just 1 win away from winning the series.
And you have to credit them. They've come so far this year, and now they find themselves just 1 win away. This has to be a gratifying victory.
Well, that time again, thanks for being with us today, Major League Baseball. For Steve Phillips, John Kruk, and the rest of our great 2K Sports crew, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks, everybody.
NLDS Game 4. It's the Los Angeles Dodgers against the Miami Marlins. And now time for the call by Gary Thorne as we get ready for the first pitch out in Miami.
Game 4 of the division series set to go. Welcome, everybody. Major League Baseball and our coverage of the postseason on 2K Sports. Thorne, Phillips, and Kruk here, and we're ready to go at it. Great pitching, yes, and Ted Lilly's the name. He is set to put his stuff up against these hitters next. Great night for a baseball game as the Marlins get set to go. We're going to see Eric Bedard, our starting pitcher. Steve, let's try and go inside his mind. What's he thinking about against these Dodgers?
You know, Eric Bedard's about deception in his delivery. The fastball can jump on the hitter a little bit, but it's not overpowering, and he can be deadly when he locates the fastball and then goes to the changeup.
In our scouting report, John, who are we watching for today?
Well, a guy who's not going to put eye-popping numbers on the board. James Loney's a guy that when he comes to the field day in and day out, the manager knows what he's going to get. He's not going to get overly excited. He's not going to get down on himself if he has a bad at-bat. He's going to come back the next one and throw a quality AB on you. James Loney, a consistent player.
And to get us going here, it'll be D. Gordon. Steve, let's talk quickly about the Marlins. What do you make of their chances here today?
Well, they're one win away from being where they want to be. And I'm not one for cliches, but as Yogi said, it ain't over until it's over. They have to keep going because they know their opponent's not going to lay down and die.
That's one down. And Steve, clearly focus is the key now. Don't get ahead of yourself in these situations.
Well, that's right. They can't worry about the next series until they finish off this one.
Steve, let's take a look at his pitching performance.
I'll tell you what, he is getting it done out there, and he's getting it done with the strikeouts. 7 strikeouts so far.
This one to Gordon. And that sets down Davis. One away. Little warm-up action going in the bullpen. That's a right-hander up and throwing.
Well, they're going to wait for the right-handed hitter on deck to get announced, and then they'll probably make the move.
Hit on the ground over to shortstop. And he grabs this one. That's one. And that's 2. A double play. Getting it done again, Ted Lilly. He's leading in what is turning out to be a pretty good pitching matchup. And the Dodgers, their turn coming up. He brings an 0 for 2 to the plate against Lilly.
He just overpowered him with a 4-seam fastball in his last at bat. He had 2 strikes, and he just watched the fastball go by.
It's been a very successful strikeout pitch for him, Steve. Definitely. Two other batters have also been put away with it.
And it's 0-2. Martin's going to have to cut down on his swing here.
Well, holding them scoreless so far in this one.
Boy, pitcher needs to get an out here. If you don't, you're going to have the potential for a very big inning offensively. Here's your big-time opportunity to put something up on the board. So that brings Kelly Johnson to the plate. He'll grab a bat and hit here. Strike started off the at-bat 0-1. And that's a strike. Johnson's going to have to take a defensive stance here. Here we go. Here's the first pitch. A swing and a foul off to the right side. A swing and a fly ball to left center field. And there's the third out. They come up with 3 runs here and have drawn even. Dodgers 3. It's going to be DeJesus. He'll lead it off here. Inning number 8. And we're going to get the see Eduardo Sanchez pitch. Last time up, flew out. And doing the pitching, it'll be Jonathan Broxton as the Marlins bring in their reliever.
Well, in the late innings, now it's time for the managers to match wits to see who can best utilize his bench and his bullpen to win this game. A must-win situation, sudden death, lose and go home. And what do? On the road, they come up with a tremendous victory, Gary.
And here we are at that moment where we're going to find an individual performance to recognize our player of the game.
He didn't just shut the door on their bats. He slammed it and nailed it closed. A dominant effort out of the pen that gave them the boost they desperately needed to outlast their inspired opposition.
And they have done it. They have battled back, tied the series. Now there's one left.
And as youngsters, each one of these players thought to themselves about playing in a game just like they face tomorrow. They've got a chance at being a hero.
Great day for baseball here at 2K Sports. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Gary Thorne with John Kruk, Steve Phillips, and our great 2K Sports.
Final game 5 of the NLDS. We'll see the Miami Marlins as they play against the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's the MLB on 2K Sports.
Welcome, the Division Series deciding game. This is Game 5. Great postseason play. We are ready to bring it to you. Matt Kemp, he can bring the big hit. Will he do it today? We're about to find out. It's a beautiful evening here in Los Angeles. The city lights on, Southern California, and a night game. It'll be Clayton Kershaw, the starting pitcher. And Steve, what's he got in his mind as he goes up against Miami?
Oh, we got a lefty on the mound in this one. Some of the best stuff in the league among the elite left-handers in the game. Against a lineup that can certainly put runs up on the board, but you have to believe if the lefty can get the job done, he should put some zeros up.
Here's the lineup for the Marlins. Now, John, anyone in particular we should keep an eye on?
Well, second base is not typically your power production position, but Kelly Johnson can provide some pop from that position. He's a guy who's a left-handed hitter who looks to just spin on everything and hit the ball out of the ballpark. Not a lot of speed, but when you hit the ball out of the ballpark, you don't need to run too fast.
McGilberry now digging a hole as he comes to the plate. Steve, what do you think of the Dodgers here in this game?
Well, it all comes down to this. Both teams are banged up, but you don't feel those bumps. You don't feel those bruises. You have to leave everything on the field. There are no excuses. Everybody's available for both teams.
And Ethier takes care of that one. One down. Steve, in light of all the injuries we've had, what you're really looking for in this kind of a game is maybe the unexpected hero.
Well, since everybody's available, the managers are going to pull out all the stops, and oftentimes it's the unlikely guy who gets the job done.
And it's caught by DeJesus. We'll take a quick look at the Dodgers and see what they look like defensively. And John, how about individual factors out there?
Well, James Loney, to me, is a guy that really has worked hard at his craft. He's a first baseman who's very good at scooping balls in the dirt. And when you have infielders that rush throws and infielders that sometimes aren't real accurate, he's an important factor in their defense. He saves that team a lot of errors and saves his pitchers a lot of extra work.
And Ethier grabs that one, and the side's retired. No strikeouts, but you talk about confidence. 4 pitches, 3 batters gone. And first chance coming up for the Dodgers. And Josh Johnson is the pitcher. For Miami, he'll be starting. Steve, what do you think his strategy is going to be against this Dodger lineup?
This
2 men on and 2 men out. Kershaw with a windup. Fastball swung on and missed. 0-1.
Well, he recognized that two-seamer. It seemed like his timing was right there, but he tried to turn on it and just came up empty.
And this is bounced foul to the left side. Oh, he's going to try to steal third. This one has popped up to the left side out of play. Swing and a miss, and that is going to be strike 3, and Russell Martin is sent back. So no runs, 2 hits, and they strand 2. Still scoreless in L.A. And it's Sands batting. He'll get things started here in the home half of the second. Well, what types of pitches have been put in play here today? There's a quick breakdown of exactly that.
And that two-seamer's been hit 2 times.
And the first pitch was a strike. Got him at 0-1 right now.
Well, climbing the ladder on him right there. He just throws that fastball.
Oh, he's trying to steal second. There's a swing and a liner. That should be a base hit. He's on his way to third. The throw, and he gets there in time, second base. The opportunity for offense is right now.
0-1 mistake right here. He throws it over the heart of the plate, and he pays for it. Clayton Kershaw has that pure, raw, great stuff. He's going to Have to find the pitch to go to get out of this jam.
Doesn't want to give up the lead run here. Tie ball game with a couple on.
Well, the situation's not all that bad just yet, Gary. It's still early. If he can get a strikeout or a pop-up and limit the sacrifice opportunities, then the defense can move back and they can play for the final out of the inning.
That's a big rip at that, but he's in the hole now, 0-2.
Well, it doesn't matter what pitch the pitcher's throwing up there. He's swinging for the fences. And I tell you what, he got a breaking ball. He thought he saw it well, but he just missed it with that big cut.
And bango, he slams into him. He is out. Oh, and that collision was fierce, but he held on to it. And it's up at second. That's a double. It's Enos at the plate. How's he attacking on the first delivery? Let's look here.
Well, when he throws the first pitch for a ball, what does it mean? Well, it means he's working behind in the count. The advantage goes to the hitter. Hitters have 3 hits in this one after going 1-0.
On the way. Swung on, grounded towards the hole. And he'll step on first to retire the side. And heading. Beautiful night. Sights and sounds of Los Angeles, Dodger Stadium. Very nice breeze coming through here. Four years in the league. The first pitch. It's 0-1 as he swings and misses with that fastball.
Well, Gary, they've only left a couple runners on base offensively so far through the middle part of this ball game. And, they're going to have to give themselves more opportunities to see if they can't come up with that big base hit. That's just not enough offense.
This one to Gordon. That'll do it as they put that one away. Another nice inning. Good work by Click. And if you're just joining in, Gary Thorne. With Steve Phillips and John Crunk bringing you Major League Baseball here on 2K Sports. What do you think, Steve? A bunt here?
It's a definite. bunt situation with the pitcher up. They've got to get the runners moved up.
Let's see if they agree. It's going to be Taylor. He's going to come on as a pinch hitter.
Well, a tie.
Oh, and Martin's going to steal. Drops down a bunt. Picked up by Loney. Safe at first. He barely beat it out.
Well, this was a sacrifice situation, but the defense just didn't react properly once the ball was on the ground. Now everybody's safe.
McGilberry now digging a hole as he comes to the plate. And now let's take a look at a breakdown of how this guy has been mixing up his pitches so far in this one. What stands out, guys?
Well, when you're playing behind a guy, you love to see him mix up his pitches, change speeds. But when you're in the batter's box, it can create a lot of havoc for the hitter. He's done a great job of that today.
Yeah, for the most part, he's been keeping the hitters guessing, not knowing or anticipating.
Reached second base last time. He had a double off Kershaw.
I've seen the off-speed pitch once already. Seemed to pick it up early. If he goes back to it in this at-bat, I would think he's going to make sure that it's down and away in a zone where he can't drive it.
He delivers. Hard grounded to short. Grabs it. One. And they turn the play. And a frustrated lineup indeed. It's now 7 shutout innings. Still scoreless in LA. And here's Andre Ethier. Lifetime real good. 383 off the Marlins.
And it doesn't really matter which pitcher they trot out there, Gary. He loves hitting off every one of them.
This is what you want. You've got speed on first base, tie ball game.
Johnson on the ground.
It's one of the toughest pitches to hit in baseball. It really is the one that separates the good hitters from the mediocre hitters. He stays with the slider, but doesn't try to do too much with it.
Doolittle at the plate. 2 for 3 thus far. Two down. Runners at first and second. And the first pitch, a line drive towards short. And there's Gordon for the third out. So they still can't buy a run. They've been. It's Kershaw at the plate. He'll start things off. Bottom half, 8th inning. Well, he digs in here, Steve. A golden opportunity to be the hero.
And with nobody out, they need to find a way to advance.
Oh, and Martin's going to steal. And he lays one down here. And that's in plenty of time for the out.
Well, what else can you say? He's done everything his team has asked of him in this one and then some. They're needing a little bit more from him. Get them back in the dugout with this game still tied so his offense can try to score a run.
McGilberry now digging a hole as he comes to the plate. And he is back swinging a fly ball to left center field. And it drops in for a base hit. Martin is heading home. There's the run, literally the only run. It is 1-0.
Well, the shutout broken up right there, but I tell you what, no shame in the performance he's given in this one. He's been outstanding.
So now the WPA graph will show us how much of a difference that run batted in means at their chances of victory. Take the risk, and sometimes it pays off, and it does there.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a risk. There's no question about it. He got in safely, but I have to consider whether it's a risk worth taking.
And Mayberry batting. And at this point in the ballgame, you'd love to add some more runs on that board.
Well, just get an insurance run or two to protect your relief pitchers when they come into the game.
This could be the put-away run or runs. Kershaw with the windup. This one's pretty well hit to deep left center. Kemp will field. 2 men have been put away. Runner on his way to third. Well, Steve, you'd like to have the RBI fielding hitter, but that's not a bad out.
Yeah, obviously, he'd like to advance the runner, and that's at least what he did, so everybody should be at least a little bit happy.
Davis into the batter's box. Struck out swinging last time towards center field. And that will retire the side. Caught by Kemp. And the markings of a shutout going no longer. The drought ended with that run. The Marlins lead 1-0.
Okay, it's quite a showdown we have right here. Young Matt Kemp coming up. Looking very confident to play.
He represents the potential tying run here in the bottom half of the last inning. Can he do it?
Well, for the pitcher, he's got to be a little bit nervous. The last thing he wanted to do is to see one of the game's best hitters coming to the plate.
And apparently it's time. Obviously a little struggling going on the mound. You look in the pen, they've got 2 up.
Well, let's hope it's not too late. I mean, this guy's he's really scuffling right now. He's got to make the change.
Steven Strasburg, he's quickly ahead on that. Count goes to 0-2.
He's a free swinger on the 0-2 count, so you've got to think to yourself, don't give him anything too good to hit.
Curveball, thought he had him, but it's 1-2.
With this curveball down and away, now let's see if the pitcher tries to go back inside with the fastball and lock him up.
Line towards third and foul. The 1-2 pitch. Foul! And Kemp fights off yet another in this at-bat.
Well, you know the pitcher wants to get this strikeout right here, but the last thing he wants to do when he's ahead in the count is make a mistake. And the more balls he keeps fouling off in tough situations, the more chance of a mistake coming. The pitcher has to keep his focus right here.
Down on strikes there. Nice piece of pitching work.
Well, this is just giving away an at-bat right here. With 2 strikes on you, you've got to make him bring it in the zone or at least foul off. The pitch. Now he's walking back to the dugout.
And it's Sands batting. We'll try it again here. Just 1 for 3 thus far. And doing the pitching, it'll be Jonathan Broxton. He'll try to close this one out for Miami. First pitch he let go by, and it was a ball, 1-0. Swing and a miss. He was late trying to get around on that. 1-1.
That change. Up away is one of the most effective pitches because when the hitter's fooled, he starts to pull off the ball. He can only hit an inside pitch. He can't possibly reach the outside pitch unless he breaks down his swing.
And he looks at a called third strike on the slider, 2 down.
That went in on the hitter's hands. He realized he had no chance. He would have just broken his bat at swing. Well, you have to figure coming in off the bench a little bit, you want to see a pitch or two, but when you get it, you got to be aggressive. See if you can do something to get on base and get a rally started.
Swing, fly ball. This may be the ball game. This one beyond him. It's going to be extra bases. He's going to try for 3. The throw, safe at third. Got in there sliding just in time. Nice job on this one, and if he doesn't go down into the dirt, he's not going to get a triple.
Well, you're right. Great. Hustle. He was at full speed out of the batter's box, and it was the slide directly into the bag that made a difference.
And it's Andre Ethier now. And he's got a chance here with a runner in scoring position, Steve, to get this thing knotted.
Well, the pitcher's got to find a way to retire this hitter and not let this run score.
Clutch at bat here. And Broxton gets it too close. That'll be taken for a ball.
Well, a little message pitch right there, up and in the strike zone. And I think this hitter will think twice about diving out over the plate after that pitch.
Ethier will foul that one away. Broxton with the delivery. And the change floats in there, 3-2.
Fans are on their feet right now. They know 2 strikes on the hitter. They need to keep this thing going.
Lost him. Ball 4. That puts the potential winning run on.
Well, after a long, epic battle, this at-bat ends in a walk. Are you kidding me? Someone should have got struck out or someone should have got a hit. But the hitter will take the walk.
Mitchell up now. Well, this could very well be their last shot. Possible tying and winning runs on base.
He just needs to concentrate on putting it in play and hitting it hard.
Doing it with 2 down. That swung on a liner here. And he's not able to get there. This one rolls through to the wall. This game is over.
Well, they win the division series in front of the hometown crowd, and obviously so much energy and excitement now, and that's going to carry over into the championship series.
So the honor is ready to be handled out. Our player of the game, a very deserving candidate. No doubt about it, the great pitching from Clayton Kirk. And with this win, they have taken their first step towards a